A few years back, I had recorded a recital of a Yoga Sutra for a friend, and the gist of the message was on how no knowledge is wasted. No, this video is not about the Yoga Sutras, but it's about how we need to reframe our thoughts on effort and result. And I read it on Founding Fuel's newsletter. In his book, How Life Imitates Chess, Making the Right Moves from the Board to the Boardroom, Garry Kasparov addresses the issue of wasted hours. You know, the hours that we put in on a project that never happens, or the preparations that we do for a speech or a presentation and then that gets cancelled, or the notes that we take and the analysis that we do for a report that never sees the light of the day because organizational priorities have changed. These happen all the time in professional lives, and we see them. Oh, that's a very inefficient way of doing it. Oh, I put in huge inputs, but there was very low output. However, Kasparov really urges us to look at these instances differently, and I'm going to quote him. He says, one interesting and very humbling thing that I've noticed while analyzing my own games for publication is how poor some of the ideas I prepared really were. From the safety of retirement, I now look at them as huge amount of analysis I did in preparation for the tournaments and the World Championship matches. Only a fraction of these ideas ever saw the light of the day, either because my opponents didn't fall into my trap or because in the heat of the battle, I found a better variation to play. Now I see that in many cases, that was not a bad thing. With the benefit of better computer programs, it became clear that instead of wielding Excalibur, I was in many cases preparing to charge the enemy with a rusty pocket knife. Still, this preparation served me well in a way that I never quite appreciated it while I was working on it. And these periods of intense preparation were rewarded with good results, even if I didn't end up utilizing the fruits of my labor. And he says that there was almost a mystical correlation between work and achievement with no direct tie between them. And he says that perhaps he was benefiting from the chess equivalent of the placebo effect. Going into battle with what he thought were lethal weapons, it gave him the confidence, even though they went largely unused, and wouldn't have in some cases even have been effective. And he links this to the knowledge that comes from the effort, and he says there is a practical benefit in wasted effort. The research a lawyer does in preparing a case that never goes to trial still enriches his understanding of the law and makes him better at his job. So work leads to knowledge, and knowledge is never wasted. Even if we keep our weapons unsheathed, our opponents know that they exist, that you've gone prepared, and they may be distracted by that potential for nasty surprises. And this really reminds me of Thomas Jefferson's saying, I'm a big believer in luck, and I find that the harder I work, the more I have of it. What are you doing to build your wasted effort? Do share in the comments.